is the development of computer systems that can perform tasks requiring human-like intelligence, such as learning, problem solving, and communication. Take, for example, if you have a toy robot that can answer questions, recognize voices, or even play games, move about. The robot is probably using AI to interact with you. It can perform intelligent tasks, but it does not really understand you. It's just doing what it has been programmed to do. And its response, even though it looks like it understands you, is really a product of its programming. And that's why AI has come to the fore. Large language models, known as LLM. LLM are computer programs that can process and generate human-like language, that's natural language. They work by recognizing patterns in language, rather than truly understanding it like human beings. They learn from huge amounts of texts and data that they have been given. So for example, imagine a person who has read millions of books. If you ask them a question, they can give you a detailed answer because they have seen so much information before. This is exactly what LLM does. It has been fed vast amounts of data, so it can predict what words would come next in a sentence and provide meaningful responses. This enables it to help with tasks like writing letters, explaining ideas, or even creating or fixing computer code, all in response to you asking a question, which is known as a prompt. Machine learning is another term you need to understand when it comes to AI. Machine learning is when computers get better at something by learning from experience instead of just being programmed with fixed rules. For example, imagine a child learning to identify dog breeds by looking at lots of pictures. At first, they might confuse a husky with a wolf, but after seeing many examples, they get better. This is exactly what machine learning works as. AI looks at lots of data sets, and it improves at recognizing patterns by telling the difference between the dog breeds. A dataset. A dataset is a collection of information that AI studies to learn. Example, imagine a student preparing for a history test by reading hundreds of pages from different history books. They would be known as a dataset. And just as a student learns from many books, AI learns from large datasets made up of text, images, numbers, everything it needs to improve its knowledge. Fine-tuning. Fine-tuning is when AI is given extra training to make it better at a specific task. For example, imagine you already know how to ride a bicycle, but you want to learn how to do tricks. You won't need to start from scratch, you just practice the tricks. This in AI is known as fine-tuning. AI that has already been trained on general knowledge can be fine-tuned with specific training to improve in specific areas, like medicine, legal advice, or even writing computer code. Neural network. A neural network is an AI system that mimics how the human brain processes information. Imagine how a baby learns to recognize parents' faces by seeing them over and over again. Just like the baby's brain strengthens connections to recognize faces, an AI's neural network strengthens its connections, that is computer-based patterns, to recognize text, images, or speech. Bias. Bias happens when an AI makes unfair or inaccurate decisions because the data it was trained on was not diverse or balanced. For example, if a teacher only calls on students sitting in the front row and ignores the ones in the back, their teaching method is biased. If an AI is trained on data that mostly comes from one group of people, it might not work well for others, leading to biased results. Tokens and tokenization. Tokenization in AI is the process of breaking down text into smaller units called tokens. Tokens can be whole words or parts of words, or even individual characters, depending on the AI model. For example, the sentence, "I love AI," might be split into 3 tokens: I, love, and AI. So an example of that would be cutting a large loaf of bread into small pieces so that you can feed it to the birds. AI breaks down sentences into smaller parts known as tokens so that it can analyze and understand them more easily. AI models often charge a user by how many tokens are sent to it, known as the prompt, and how many tokens are returned back. And finally, in this brief tour of AI, we need to look at the prompt. A prompt is the input, either a question or request, that you give to an AI and get a response back. For example, it's like asking a waiter, "What's the best dish on the menu?" Just like the waiter responds based on what they know, AI reads the prompt you give it and generates the best response based on its training and data that is available. With that brief tour, you've got some understanding of what AI is. And many of the terms that I've mentioned here, you will come across them. It's good to understand what they mean. AI, large language models, machine learning, dataset, fine-tuning, neural network, bias, tokens, and prompts. Welcome to the wonderful world of AI. Are there any other terms you would like explained? Mention them in the comments below. AI Technology Simplified brings you insights and tips on AI every Friday. Our next insight will be on AI-powered search engines that will boost your productivity, creativity, and general knowledge. It is free and readily available. Don't miss it.